back in Nam to now. Nam to now. Got a long poem today. It's about my buddy Lane. Kind of taught me the ropes of cycling way back 50 years ago. My goodness, the fast Lane, I call him. I may have to relight this cigar a couple times, I don't know. Don't inhale it, don't smoke. It ain't good for you, but what is, man? Everything's trying to kill us. Anyway, here we go. I worked with Lane down in Columbia and through that job at Mountain Cycles, I've met the great Woody Graham. There's a trophy named after Woody up in Canada there for riding the most miles so much that they just named the trophy after him. But Lane taught me the ropes, and we tried to go out into the wind and then have the wind blow us back home. It didn't always work out, but Lane, he was a good man and a teacher. The fast Lane, yeah, my goodness. He may have slowed down. We all slow down in time. But what are my memories to jot down in a rhyme? This Lane was one of the wonders that made Columbia cool. And under his instructions, I went to cycling school. Yeah. He was my riding partner, friend, and coach. Should I say my mentor? He introduced me to strands of art, but cycling was always at the center. We seldom rode on Monday. That came to be our day of rest. Maybe because the weekends seemed to be our hardest tests. Our jerseys were just for big rides. We rode with t-shirts and cycling hats. We had no funds to support our sport, but we were the coolest cats. We rode in black wool shorts and leather cycling shoes. The coolest music we could know was the smoothest jazz and the sweetest blues. There was a beer and pimento sandwich. The pimento cheese Lane created himself. Then he'd play his bass guitar in a chair with his music stereo and books up on a shelf. He wore his hair in shorts, long all winter long. He favored instrumental jazz when singers surpassed the song. Simple means simple times, but the simple food was surely manna. And he'd recite, "Time flies like an arrow, but fruit flies like a banana." What kind of Lane is this? Can we please recall? He was the fast lane under construction, but never a narrow lane. Not ever, not at all. At one time, his French Logano was his favorite ride in his stable. And if you'd call him up, he'd ride if he was able. I'd spend some nights in the city. I'd ride home every other day. If Lane had little to do, he'd ride with me half the way. And we rode so many roads, like 6, 176 and 1, and we wore out 21. And often he'd turn off toward home in Columbia, somewhere near Sandy Run. We mostly rode toward the southwest because of the trade winds blowing in, but it seemed always a headwind at the end of our cycling spin. Yep, there we go. Let's ride the little mountain, Monticello, Congaree and Wateree. Maybe drag back in through Hopkins, Fort Jackson, and USC. Oh, those bridges. My goodness. The Blossom, Assembly, and Meeting Street. Where trucks and trailers and mad drivers all compete. We ate what was on our plate. Cycling was its own reward. There was a day in a ride near Broad River that really strikes a chord. Disappearing at a traffic light, he stunned the cycling horde as he drafted a school bus out of sight, and I thought, I had seen the Lord. There were many cyclists from those cycling days of yore, and I can recite a few stories from times gone by in cycling lore. There was Woody, Carlson, Poole, Hollis, Hardwick, just to name a few. There are many other names that I could name, and I'd have to add Lane Phillips too. I don't know how all friends are. I don't know what all friends do, but we had so many powwows and shared a peace pipe or two. He was an artist, a mechanic, musician, and painter. He found time to ride with kings. And when folks speak of a Renaissance man, it must include most of those things. They say Lane has left the building. Hills are no longer hard to climb. Doesn't he still ride towards sunset, where the lightning and colors are sublime? Bon courage, bon ami. Thank you, Lane, for teaching. Bon chance, bon ami. Thank you, Lane, for reaching. So let's play some blues, maybe drink a beer while John Handy's hard work floats in our ears. There must be some more hills to ride, and some flat roads for us yet. And you can bet this is one memory lane that I can never, ever forget. Yeah. This is one memory lane that I can never forget. Yeah. Damn to now. About my buddy Lane. And that's how it was. Yeah.